What vehicle you driving now?
Huh?
You still driving that truck?
Yep.
How come I don't hear it? You guys quiet the muffler?
No. What do you mean you? No.
I used to hear the truck coming up and then you hear. Oh, you're like. I don't hear anything.
Oh no, I have your chair over here. Sorry, I have another chair here.
No, put my bag down here. Yeah, no, I'm accustomed when I hear the growl.
Yeah.
I say yeah.
But we've been here. I got here early today though. Were you downstairs? Have you been downstairs?
I've been down there since about 11:30.
11:30.
7:30 ish.
We were here before that.
No, but even though sometimes I'm there like from 7 o'clock, and I don't even hear when you roll up. Because, like I said, normally I would hear the growl from the truck from before. I would be like, yeah, I know Jen's here. But now I don't hear the growl. I don't know what's up. I know I ain't going there.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Is anybody on
Yeah, we're
today?
here. Yeah, we're here. We're here. We're here. We're here. Hi, we're here.
Okay.
You ready? Yeah,
Yeah, that's all right. When he comes in, that's fine.
Yeah, he's here. He's in.
Okay, I'm saying we can start. I got some stuff to talk about.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to wstx AM 970 Reflections. Look in the community mirror. If you don't like what you see, jump in and make the difference. If you see stuff good going in and going on, jump in and become part of the solution you want to see. Yeah, all right. Okay. We got a packed morning for you here. We got AARP coming in at 8:30, and they got some fantastic news to share with the Virgin Islands. Yes, okay. And then at 9 o'clock, we got VI Hale in the house. Yep. Talking about the ride share, the legislation, and what's been going on. You know, it's an ongoing thing here in terms of our community. Let me turn my do not disturb on here. Good thing. So you won't be hearing all of those prompts. Anyhow, so we got a packed morning. Of course, we got a few things we got to stick in there for the community calendar. I hope you got out to see the Sarah and Addie at the Caribbean Community Theater, among other things that were going on this past week and weekend. Yep. So hopefully you're in here refreshed, ready for another weekend and take on everything that's going on in the community. One thing for sure, okay? And I'm in close earshot of my mom, so I got to watch what I say. So I telling her, no, if I hear you saying that ain't got nothing going on in St. Croix, I might just impulsively butt in and tell you that you're untruth. I can't tell you the other part I'd like to tell you. I have to keep the high road because mommy listening. Okay? All right. Got plenty of stuff going on. You just need to know about it. one way or the other, and WSTX is right here trying to fill in the gap. And folks, if your organization stuff isn't being announced on WSTX, that's on you. Because all you got to do is drop it off. It gets forwarded to us, and we put it on the community calendar, and we talk about it. Yep. Just yesterday, somebody zipped me what you call it now, a flyer. Okay. And as far away as I am from St. Croix at this minute, I was able to look at that flyer and say, okay, boom, stick it in the queue. We're going to talk about it on the community calendar. All right. And just as a matter of quick manners here and everything, I just want to say good morning, Gerard.
Good morning, Doug.
All right. Good thing. Anyhow, one of the things social media has done is that it has made the world an even smaller place. Okay. So I mentioned that ARP has some interesting announcements that they want to make in the process here. Information technology, whether it's Facebook or TikTok, Instagram, wherever you hang out, if you hang out in those areas. Folks, you have to be aware of what you say about other people and organizations. Because if you say something that is false and defamatory, your fun time on social media could end up gutting whatever bank book you have, potentially having you to enter into all kind of debt for attorney's fees and potential settlements. Okay. Now, let me just say this: when you go to court for libel and slander, there's one absolute defense, and that is truth. Now, I just want to say that truth is something that's verifiable, some type of factual way of saying ABC, XYZ. It ain't what you think it is. It ain't what you feel it is. It has to be factual. Okay? So I just I'm miles away, and I'm involved with Calypso Inc., working with these children and everything else that they're doing in promotion in the community. And I get this inquiry about, well, did you see the article in this particular establishment? And no, I hadn't seen it. So I went and I read it and said, wow. So many things hit me at one time. Okay. First of all, let's talk about truth, fact, and whatever, right? When you run a political campaign, okay, you can engage with an artist to do a jingle for you, an ad for you, whatever the case may be. And you could pay them out of your personal money. You can pay them out of your campaign funds because it's for the campaign. Okay? If somebody wants to independently commission someone to do something for you, that's their business because that's their private money. You cannot use government money to do those things, period. And any suggestion that somebody did that, you better have your facts, okay? Simply because, not because Doug says so, because you don't want to put yourself in a financial liability situation for libel and slander by saying something that's not true. So when you come out and say that somebody used government money to pay for a campaign jingle, first of all, I know you have politicians that you might question their intelligence, but I will say as a general proposition, they or their committee, if they have one, know better than to go there. Okay? Plain and simple. But anyhow, the challenge I have with this is that when people throw this crap, I call it crap, out there, the amount of people who jump up and say, yeah, 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 corruption, this, that, and the other. Do your homework. Understand what's going on. Don't be manipulated by people who have personal axe to grind against other people. Okay? And furthermore, don't be repeating the falsehood they say, because then you get pulled into court too. Right? I mean, think about it now. Gas high enough, food high enough, everything else you want to go pay an attorney to. Okay, you want to have to, put out money to settle a lawsuit because you went and repeat something that somebody said that was false. No, it's different when you think something might be going on or whatever, but when you make an affirmative statement that so and so is doing such and such, then you cross the line. You cross the line. Anyhow, so if you cross that line after Doug tell you about it, that's your backside. Okay? You could lead a house to water, you can't make it drink, you could give people all the information and everything else, but you have to make that decision for yourself. That's number one. Okay? Number two, the AARP funding that came to these Virgin Islands. When monies were there for nonprofits and other organizations to apply, did your organization apply? Because if you don't apply, you can't get. And at the same time, those who apply and got funding through the program, how does that make them corrupt? How does that make it anything other than the crabs in a barrel where people see somebody else get something, and because they didn't get none, then all of a sudden it must be this, it must be that, it must be that? No. Do your research. Get your organization, your board, whoever together and fill out that application and apply. Because that's how it works. You have to apply. Okay?
You have a call on with you too.
That's too bad. I gonna finish what I'm doing here now. Let them wait, okay? Because this is important, okay? And I'll apologize. I didn't mean to make it come across so strong, but this is a serious community issue here we have as a talk show. When you call in, you have to make sure if you're going to be accusing people of things, talk show or online, you have to make sure that you have the facts. Otherwise, you're opening up yourself. Okay. Now, the ARPA process, you have to apply. If you didn't apply, you can't get. It's like we had Publishers Clearinghouse scam going on a year or two ago, and people calling up people and telling them, oh, well, if you send us this money, that we will deliver you a Mercedes and the $2 million and so forth and so on. And people send them the money. People walking around Bassady because they're supposed to meet somebody here to get the keys to their BMW, and they check for the money, and serious mental health problems. Okay, I'm not making fun of anybody. I saw it happen. And of course, the obvious thing is, well, how did you think that you could win with Publishers Clearinghouse and you never ever had anything to do with Publishers Clearinghouse before? Okay, now
just asking for your
all right.
asking for your continued support. And
Okay, so now when you apply, if you are successful, the process is not one where you just get this lump sum of money and do what you want with it. You have to turn in a monthly report, and that monthly report have to have in all your receipts and all your justifications. And you better have it. You know why? Because you have to put out your money, justify the money that you put out and want reimbursement for, to get the reimbursement. Now, I know for a fact, every step of the way, Calypso Inc. did what they were supposed to do. If some other organization was irresponsible in that regards, that's then deal with that organization. But to call out Calypso Inc. the way it did, without having facts, I think that's goes to a song that Dobby wrote quite a while back. You know, we hate one another too long, because we should be encouraging every organization to apply for any public funding that will promote the organization's goals when those goals definitely are about the youth of these Virgin Islands. So you have to spend your money first and then get reimbursed. Right? That's the way it works. So I'm bigging up Calypso Inc. this morning on taking the initiative and doing what they were supposed to do. For all of you, and I looked at the Facebook post and I look at a lot of the comments there, and it's clear that a lot of people don't know, but they're making comments like they know. Folks, beware. When other people who have a grudge start doing them kind of thing, if you follow behind them, okay, you putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. That's all. No intimidation, no nothing. I just tell you, look out for your interests. Cause they looking out for their grudge. If their grudge gonna make sure that you have to pay money in court, you know, that's your friend, right? You gonna follow them, right? Is that how it works? Okay. I hope not. I hope not. And in that context, I would suggest that everybody that have these kind of posts on there that they check themselves. All right? Okay. Good thing. With that, part 2 is when I'm going to come back another time and talk about who actually looking out for the youth at these Virgin Islands. So with that, Jared, it's back to you, and you can master the phone lines.
Okay, yeah, but just let me say this one thing. That was a comment made on the Senate floor. I was listening. Anyway, good morning, Carla. You on the air?
Yes, my brethren, how are you doing today?
We're doing fine.
Good, good. I heard my good friend there, the August jurist, officer of the court, and soon to be a judge. He laughed.
I don't want
But
to.
you see,
I don't want here no bench.
Thank you. I don't want to be benched either.
I don't want here no bench. I will vote against that.
we got to sit down, okay? You sit down and so back. But listen now. He and I don't disagree to this. Because when I was in the legislature, he was a senator. Well, when I said I was working there. He was a senator. I had to rely on him to keep me out of court. A jacket there, not a coat. Because I used to make a lot of fun in your decision.
Oh, so he kept you out of court?
Yeah, he kept me out of court.
Okay.
And jacket too. He gave me out the jacket. But anyway.
So wait, you're telling me, wait, Mr. Neves, you're telling me that he goes for something?
He good for how you mean he good for something. He good for everything. But anyway, I heard him saying something a while ago. I want to be careful what you say when you hear somebody say this guy could get you in this and that. You got to hire a lawyer. Let me tell you something. Where there is fire, there is smoke. Not smoke, smoke.
Well, what you're talking about is something that I know I heard it mentioned on the Senate floor during the Finance Committee. I was listening at the time. And I know the senator that made the comment.
Okay.
Okay, Can I share? Can I share something with you? Just a
Yeah,
quick thing.
Go right ahead.
When you say something on the Senate floor, the
Mhm.
question is, at what point do you have immunity for what you say? Number one. And if what you say is false and somebody take it up and run with it on Facebook, repeating an allegation, then the person who put it on Facebook is making themselves legally accountable if to someone who wants to sue for defamation. That's all I was saying. So you gotta be careful who you repeat and why you repeat it. You
I
know,
understand what you said. I
yeah, the
understand.
senator got his facts, let him throw out his facts.
You know,
Okay.
and the next day, our warrior Coach Boy came out
Uh-huh.
with the facts,
Okay.
and he put the
Okay.
facts on the record.
Okay.
I like, yeah, you tell them, Coach Boy. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. But when I heard them say that, right,
Mm-hmm.
I flash back on when the campaign jingle that Dovey made for Governor Bryan,
Uh-huh.
you know, and Carly Long Neck Man or whatever it was, and making fun of the he and his running mate.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. So he said that like you holding a grudge against Dovey, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't take it there, I didn't repeat it. But then hours later I see the whole thing blowing up in the place. And I was like, yeah. I,
Okay then.
I say,
Well,
yeah, I ain't taking part in that one day.
that's the point I was attempting to get to.
Mhm.
Many a time, you would have someone say something very publicly about a legislator or a senator, and nothing comes of it because that particular senator who they say that come out the back window and this woman out 3, 4 o'clock every morning, even though he's married, he noticed truth. So of course he hoped it would die and go away. Now, I have been sued before for things that I have said publicly, written, because I like to write.
Well, I can't see nobody coming out nobody window.
But you feel them coming out.
I feel them coming out.
They might tumble down by your foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, let me finish off with this. Anyway, when it goes before the August jurists that sit on a bench, and I now, in doing pro bono or doing my own case or whether I have an attorney, and the question then is that in cross-examination, if I show you a picture of you coming out the window, are you going to say it's your brother? You know, say that I got to say it's me. Many times there are things, whether it's in song, in rhyme, in calypso, in rumba talk. It is very true. That's why I use the term where there's smoke, there's fire. The same with me. When I was running for public office, what is it? He like a lot of women and he just drink rum. There was fully incorrect because I told you
on board counts.
but yes, I run another woman.
Well, listen to me good. We live in the Caribbean. We in the VI.
Okay.
We in the VI. Which man you could point at that you could say that don't drink rum or some type of alcohol? Hmm? Even the priest does drink it in Anishevitz. So tell me again, who don't drink what?
You mean when they have confession, or what you call them, when you call it, when you go in church and they got wine and
listen to me. I used to spray the directory for the Catholic Church, and in their rec room had a bar that had better and more expensive alcohol than a bar. Top shelf stuff. So nobody, when I used to fire my rum, I say nobody don't tell me nothing because the priest was done me.
Listen to you. How you know the priest drink it?
I suppose you might remember it. With the Catholic priest and the drinking and the thing, you see when you notice how much shot they take before they get you on?
Well,
the saying used to be, Father drink all the wine and he when the man
oh Lord. You see where you start now, Gerald?
Well, that was bar Catholic though.
Okay, but you ain't find no offense in what I said.
Me? I don't take on people. You know.
And if I might add,
you know another thing with that, and I'm going now. Years ago, the church up in Garden Street, I think it's Anglican, the father priest that was there, everybody know. I mean, I was a friend at the family, most, so I was a friend with his brothers, Eric Blake and Tommy Blake, the head of the planning officer.
Right.
Masterful urban planner. But his brother was kind of left-handed. He wrist them was like Lucy, and he go up on the thing and telling you this and preaching this and telling you this, he whining and kind of jumping like.
He wrist are broke.
And
okay.
Your wrist was broke off. But then as soon as that sermon done, and he gone out to the door to greet the parishioners coming out, he got that cigarette in his hand. He got where to light up.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah,
he's a father priest.
Yes.
Anyway.
I know of one or two of them was here, you know, as well. And when like I said, I used to spray the directory, and when I used to spray his section of the room, his room smelled like an ashtray. But anyway, we ain't putting the people's business out there. So we have we got some people coming in at 8:30, and we have a tight schedule today. So
okay, are the politicians? Are there any of them coming?
No.
Take their stuff?
No, there ain't got no politicians coming.
Yeah. But they don't come near you.
Yeah, well, if they come near me, they know they have the tough questions to answer.
You think that's your better? I got it.
All right.
Yeah, Jared, when people sitting on the floor of the legislature, there's certain circumstances where there's immunity because you can be in a situation where you have to make legislation and say things and bring out things that might be offensive to people, whatever the case may be, if it's factual or if it's in course of the legislative debate process. But anyhow, you know,
so it's 8:30
on the dot.
I think our guest is here.
It's here. Yeah. Okay.
I want to remind the public, good morning. It's another Thursday. You know, I was late in giving my greetings. So good morning to you guys on Facebook, YouTube. Good morning, St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John. Good morning, Big Sis, KJ. Good morning around the world. We have someone here from AARP.
Good morning, Doug. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Glad that you came in this morning to talk about this good news about Santa in June. Is that what you're going to talk about today?
Yeah, so well, my name is Becca Hewson, and I'm the Associate State Director of Communications and Outreach for AARP in the Virgin Islands.
All right.
And I'm really excited because we are about to have our second annual Elder Justice Summit.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and our Elder Justice Summit is a 3-part series where we teach and we advocate for our elders in the community. It's a very strongly anti-elder abuse themed summit. The first session this year is going to be open to the public. It's focused on legal tools and your first line of defense. We're helping people understand things like power of attorney, advanced directives, and how to avoid signing away their assets or rights. And we have just practical, real-life information that every family needs, not just older adults. And we want people to leave informed, empowered, and better protected.
Fantastic. Yes,
What?
I just want to say that someone slipped me that flyer
Mhm.
yesterday, and at wstx we do a community calendar. So whenever you got stuff going on at AARP, make sure if it's a flyer or something like that, that it either gets to me or Josh or to the station for us, so that we can put it on the community calendar. Okay? Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a lot of events coming up this summer too, because
Fantastic.
we're going to have a lot of voter engagement events this year.
Great.
Yeah. Now, a little bit more about the Elder Justice Summit is we're going to have 2 sessions for this part 1. On St. Croix, our first one, it's on June 29th at the UVI Medical Simulation Center from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. But I believe that one's filled up. But our St. Thomas event still has seats available. And that's going to be on July 1st at the UVI Laverne Ragster Conference Center. And lunch will be provided. But if your audience would like to register to join us, they would just need to call 1-877-926-8300.
That's Monday, right?
Yeah, Monday is the one on St. Croix, and then July 1st is St. Thomas. And like I said, the St. Croix one seems to be pretty full. So if you call and you can't get in, if you're traveling to St. Thomas, there's still some room available.
And of course, it also means that it's a popular topic. So maybe the time will come when we get to do it again.
Yeah, it is a popular topic. And last year, our Elder Justice Summit was really well attended. We always have one session that's available for the public, and the rest are learning sessions for professionals. Like later, our part 2 Elder Justice Summit is going to focus on probate reform and housing stability. And that's where we're going to bring together like legal experts and policymakers and housing professionals. And so that's going to be an invitation one, but we're hoping that we can bring professionals in for training and learning so that they can better help the community. And that's going to be later in July. And then our final one will be early August. That will be part 3. And that focuses on elder financial exploitation and fraud prevention. And that one will bring together our law enforcement professionals, our financial institutions, and our investigators, because it's about strengthening how our territory responds to protect our vulnerable adults.
Yes. I sad to say that there was a reporting of a case of financial abuse and in the Virgin Islands, and I said a case because the details were right there in the police report and everything else and so forth. But folks, it can happen anywhere. And forewarned is forearmed. You have these opportunities to become more educated in the area. Take advantage of it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Now, I have a personal struggle here where my mom wants to report me for elder abuse because I don't give her seconds for ice cream. So I told her that don't count. Okay.
Yes, that counts. I would support you for that. But I want to ask you a question for
Yeah.
the in-person session.
Mhm.
You guys ever thought about doing like a virtual link to that at the same time?
We have considered it, and we
Mhm.
have attempted that in the past, but
Mhm.
we find that doing a hybrid event can sometimes lose a lot of the impact,
Mhm.
particularly since our presenters are presenting to the live audience. So
Mhm.
our video, it gets a lot lost in translation via streaming. Also, if our presenters aren't facing the camera, you can't face the camera and the audience. And also, we have a lot of power grid issues, and internet issues just across the territory. So often our broadcasts like that are disrupted, and it causes a lot of frustration. But we have been looking into hybrid events in the future where it could be streaming and in person.
Mhm. And the reason
Well,
why that is that those people who probably wouldn't be able to make it could probably stream it, whether it be on their phone or their tablet, computer, whatever. So I was just thinking about that.
That's
okay.
true.
Well,
We do have like one sheets, and we also have like lots of like learning like documentation and packets that if you're ever curious or you need some information, even though we can't necessarily always get you into a class, we can certainly give you information on how to protect yourself and your family.
And right now, where is AARP located?
Well, we have two offices. So the St. Croix office is in Sunny Isle, and we're located upstairs from the Board of Elections.
Upstairs on the board of elections. In Sunny House?
Mm-hmm.
They have upstairs?
Yeah, because we do. It's actually a really beautiful building. So like where Board of Election is in Dr. Titus's office, that's downstairs.
Uh-huh.
There's a staircase, and if you go up, that's where AARP is located
Oh.
on St. Croix.
That's news to me.
Yeah, but I do want to remind your audience that we do not sell insurance. We don't sell that out of our office for sure. And I can't answer any questions about insurance, but I can definitely tell you about what our legislative priorities are for 2026. I can tell you all about our voter engagement events coming up, and what we advocate for our 50 plus community here in the Virgin Islands.
No, I think AARP is to memberships, right?
We do have memberships, and you can be 18 to become a member, and then you get wonderful discounts. You can get discounts on flight, hotels. You get discounts shopping. There are also, and I don't have the list, and I'm actually not allowed to do this kind of advertising, but I am aware that there are even grocery stores on St. Croix that give you an AARP discount.
Give you a discount, yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
perfect.
And if you become an AARP member, then you get our newsletter and our magazine, and you can hear about the advocacy work that we're doing across the country, not just here in the Virgin Islands.
Great.
Yeah.
fantastic. Sounds like we're going to be seeing you more often.
Yeah, I hope to come in more often because,
Okay.
I used to host a radio show right here in this room years ago.
Fantastic. Well, the doors are always open for information of concern to the community. So just let us know. So whether it's in person or via phone or virtually, let's make sure that the information gets out. Jared,
Absolutely.
Jared mentioned about streaming. Streaming is nice. It's important to be able to get the largest audience. And if the reality is a lot of people for timing, whether it's work, homework with the children, fixing dinner, whatever the priorities are, sometimes want to get there but can't. And in that context, what I would suggest is to have it recorded. And when you do that, if you can get someone who has multiple cameras so that they can catch all the angles, the speaker, the projection, and the crowd. so they can edit it in the end so that the viewing audience, because then it becomes a resource. What was discussed becomes a resource to the community, that for those who couldn't be there, they could at least see what was talked about and formulate their questions and seek information accordingly.
Yeah, even if it's just like the audio link.
That's a really fantastic idea. And to my Associate State Director of Advocacy and Outreach, Pamela Toussaint, she's this 3-part series is really like it's her baby. She's the one that's working hard on it. So I will definitely give her that suggestion. I think she'll love it. Although there's so many moving parts to our event this time, with so many speakers, this might be a last minute, but it's a wonderful idea to do it for part 2 and part 3, that those aren't open to the public.
Because I don't know if you know this, right? I can't see you. I'm blind.
Okay.
So even if I get the audio link, I could listen in.
Then you can listen in.
Yes.
I'll see if we can do that. Like, there's no reason not to, unless we just don't have the manpower to help us.
Right.
But I love this for part 2 and part 3, and I'll bring that up to my colleagues.
Yeah.
Oh, and I also wanted to mention that the Elder Justice Summit is a collaboration. We are collaborating with the Department of Human Services and the Department of Justice on this 3-part series. So I want to give them a big shout out for all the hard work they've done and all the help and input that they've had for these events as well.
All right. Now, speaking of ARP, I saw a release here that for June 24th, in addition to us discussing the Elder Justice program that you have, where ARP has committed $107,500 to strengthen the Virgin Islands community, and they list various organizations that they have are going to be disbursing these monies to. And that's what I was talking about, the Santa in June announcement. Because
no, this is also really exciting, our community challenge grant. Yes, that was our big announcement. I had to keep it under wraps till yesterday because we had all the information embargoed, and we got to finally make our announcement yesterday. Yes, we have selected our community challenge grantees for the community challenge grant. It's part of our Livable Communities program, and we have selected 8 recipients across the territory, and we are granting $107,500 to nonprofits and charities across the territory to make the Virgin Islands a more livable community for our 50+ community members and for everyone. Recipients include the St. George Village Botanical Garden, the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center. I don't have the list in front of me.
I can call them off for you.
Please do.
The Virgin Islands Trail Alliance, Inc., Strategic Solutions Network, Eddie Ortiz Annual 3 Kings Day Tradition, Inc., St. George Village Botanical Garden, the St. Croix Animal Welfare Center, the Coral Bay Community Council, and the Tradewind Foundation Corporation, and ZCMMP also receive funding. Now, I won't go into the details of it because of time, but the important thing is that this challenge grant was out there, and folks applied. And of those people that applied, these were the ones that are found to be the most worthy in terms of the distribution of these funds. And I want to encourage anyone out there who has a nonprofit organization, when you see these opportunities for funding, apply. Don't count yourself out, apply. You may not get as much as you would have liked, whatever, but apply, because if you don't try, you can't get.
Absolutely. We'll be the grant will be up again in January of 27. We offer it every January, and this year we selected 8 grantee winners. we had 24 applicants. So, a third of our applicants were awarded a grant this year.
Yep. Yep. Mhm. Yeah, well, some organizations get discouraged, and I said never get discouraged because you just don't know when it's your time. You have to be persistent in that regards. Yes, but I want to commend AARP for what it's doing in the community, and its consistency of being seen and being involved in the community. All right, definitely.
Okay.
And WSTX, our doors remain wide open. So when you got stuff going on, whether it's sending us a flyer to talk about community calendar, a phone call, virtual or in person, we're here, ready to go.
Thank you. I will definitely keep you all informed and up to date on all of our activities in the community. And yeah, I would love to. I'll talk with Josh, and I would love to schedule more regular interviews on your show.
Fantastic. Well, definitely. Once we get past this first leg of this program, just the more time you give us, the more opportunity we have to talk about it. So the sooner we get the flyer, it means that every Thursday, as a minimum, on the community calendar, it's going to be talked about.
Wonderful. I'll also get your email address from Josh. Josh is on my press release list, but I
Okay.
don't know if he always passes you the information. So I'll make sure that I put you on my press release list so that way you know all of our activities in the community.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Just, Josh is a busy guy sometimes, so I beg for him if he didn't pass it on.
I will. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate both of you very, very much.
And we appreciate AARP. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. Take care.
Okay then. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, Jared.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want you to know if I deserve justice too. Even though I'm a teenager, I deserve justice too. So don't let me have to report you, okay?
You deserve justice.
All right. And not the kind of justice you like to dispense.
I can give justice.
Because between you and Mr. Nibs, I'll be just and upright all the time.
That's the best justice in the world. Keep it
Anyhow.
straight.
All right. Good thing. Good thing. So, how I got a little talking in the background.
Yeah, somebody, I think the door is open.
Okay. All right. You said that Mr. Foy was back on backslide and got back on the soapbox again. So,
He apparently he was listening to the same thing I was listening to, and then he got in touch with who he had to get in touch with, got some paperwork, and then he came on the radio.
yeah.
And he said, I got the facts.
Right.
Okay.
Well, let me share something with you, right? That's very, very important. When you get an award through, like, let's say, the ARPA funds, they don't give you a pot of money and you just spend it and have to come back later and account for it or disappear or whatever the case may be. The money actually come out your pocket first.
Right.
And you have to make sure that you have all your receipts and documentation.
Let me go close this door.
Okay. Yeah, but I'll continue. You have to make sure that you have your receipts and all of your documentation. Otherwise, you can find yourself in a situation where you have put out your money, and for lack of proper documentation, the organization is stuck. They don't get reimbursed. And I have to say, with the ARPA process and the funding that Calypso Inc. got, they know about that personally. Because you can't say, oh, I'll get that for you later or this, that. No. You got to have your paperwork lined up. One of the challenges for many organizations, for instance, when they get government funding, is that if you have an outstanding bill that you owe to somebody And that's somebody, for instance, for an example, you have a summer camp and you have students that come in and work for that summer camp. Very often, those students that are working to be paid may not get paid until after the camp is done or sometime after that, simply because the funding process doesn't just throw out a pot of money and hey, let you write checks like that. No, very often it doesn't come in a timely manner that allows you to make that type of immediate payment or reimbursement to someone who has done something on behalf of the organization, expecting to be reimbursed through the program. All right. But the key is if you can set it up so that you can make it through the program and you have all your paperwork in line, as a practical matter, you will get reimbursed. Now, having said that, and knowing that it's federal dollars, and knowing that our government sometimes has a bad reputation with people that they owe for years and years and years. Okay, I am happy to say that all of those young people who came in and as interns and were able to be monitors and counselors in the camps and other activities that Calypso Inc. did, to the best amount of my knowledge, all of them have been paid. Right, and that's crucial. That's crucial. It's very discouraging to a young person who very often doing what they like to do, working with children, come in and give of their time above and beyond, and then for beyond their what they're required to do, and then have to deal with a situation where being paid is up in the air. I know one thing for sure. I have seen situations where Darby went in his pocket and make sure that the person got paid, documented it, okay, so that he would be the one to be reimbursed rather than to have that young person out there who were counting on this sum of money toward supplies for school or whatever the case may be. I've seen him do that. And I know that there are other organizations out there that can show us similar claims where they've done that type of thing because they have their commitment to the youth and to their workers and the folks who support their organization is just that great. But they shouldn't have to do that. Okay. Now that's a government red tape process that they need to streamline and get it better. Okay. And I'll stop with that. Okay.
Well, Dougie,
Yes, sir.
you remember we made a comment last week that, you know, when Mother's Day coming around, you see all these little enterprises around the place saying that thing. Well, it looked like two ladies went and make a liar out of me. Okay? They put together and sent me some flowers. So I got my Father's Day flowers. When I went into work, I had a delivery on my desk for flowers.
I'm glad you got some flowers, okay? I'm glad you got some flowers. And
So,
I saw this comedian. I call it a comedian because it was funny like that in presentation about Father's Day and the most popular holidays as he called it. And Father's Day ranked like number 20.
uh-huh,
And of course, number one is well, not of course. In his research, number one is Christmas,
uh-huh,
and number two is Mother's Day.
uh-huh. What's number
Right?
three?
And Father's Day would rank like about number 20.
Wow,
And Halloween comes before Father's Day.
Jesus.
Okay, so ghosts and goblins have more cred than fathers, okay? And he said that Columbus Day was number 16, which he really couldn't understand, and I can't understand either because Columbus was like somebody who come in your house and say they find
The 9 o'clock is
money,
here.
$50,
Bring 'em
and,
in.
and then you ask them, well, hey, where you get that $50 from? So, oh, I found it in your house. I discovered it. since since Columbus discovered America, I discovered the $50 that was already there in your house. He discovered, and so he taken it, right? So, you know, we know that whole thing with Columbus is a farce. For those people who want to take that personally, that's the backside. The fact of the matter is you can't discover what's already out there. All right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Our 9 o'clock is waiting on us. They're here,
All right.
they're here early.
Yeah, well, you take it and run with it, brother.
No, it's okay. Take it around with it. I
I didn't
hear
hear
them.
you.
I hear them come through the door. I ain't see them yet.
For some reason, you didn't come through clear.
I said I heard them come through the door,
Oh,
but
okay. Well, you better be
I
glad there's your friend because
I
it's sitting
ain't
right
see
in
them
front of
yet.
you now. You ain't see them yet? uh, Good morning, sir. You see what I have to put up with?
Okay, morning.
Okay, hail up the people them and let we VI hail it up.
Yes. Yeah, good morning. This is Clyde Daisley from VI Hale visiting once again. Appreciate the invite and just here to kind of give some updates as to where we are at, what we're hoping for, and especially now it's we all know the election cycle is in full swing. So
Yeah.
we got moving in every direction. So, just come to give everybody a little update and what we hoping to get out of this next cycle here, or maybe even before, who knows?
Yep. I saw I saw something on Facebook the other day about VI Hill, uh, information about how to use it and so forth and so on, and the discount you can get for the first time use it and so forth. I thought that was pretty cool, and people need to understand that, hey, it's like it ain't like them advertisement on TV. I tell you, buy it, and if you don't like it, you can send it back, and then when you're trying to send it back, you can't get
Right.
through on the number.
Well, listen.
You're
As
getting the
a
discount up front.
as a frequent user, right, Doug?
Uh-huh.
As a frequent user, I can vouch for that service because they have a way in which they'll pay you to use the service.
And
You
this is what I'm
accumulate,
saying.
you can accumulate points
Yeah,
and then turn
yeah.
around and use the same points for a free ride if you choose to. So I mean, hey,
Yeah. So about the free ride, it's something that we just started doing. Well, we had that coupon out since day one. That coupon has been out in the public since day one. It's on our stationaries and flyers and business cards. It's never going to go away. We always say, let me prove to you that we what we are saying instead of just talking about it, we're going to show you. And the way how you could test we out is, you put the coupon to test. It's first ride. They give you 25% off no matter where you go. It don't matter if you go from east to west. You could go from Point Udall to the pier. However you go, you get your 25% off. It's 25% off to the hailer with the riders. We just call our riders hailers. But the drivers don't feel that pinch. The businesses pick up the slack, and we just pay the 25%, so the drivers make the full fair amount no matter what. So it's a win-win. We keep our drivers engaged. We get new hailers to come out and try the service and see. Since the conception and day one of this thing, it's been more or less word of mouth. We never really pull ourselves out there. We don't do no bunch of a bunch of advertisement or none of that. Is always just word of mouth. Hey, I hear this person. I hear about this thing. Try it. I hear about this. Try it. I hear about this. Try it. And you fast forward now to almost what we in? We almost at 2 years. This September will make our second year and doing this service. And from one hailer now we almost to, I think the last time I looked, we was just shy of 18,000 healers out there. And so we just grow it as just our grassroots from day one. It was purposely made that way. I didn't want to come off and just say, "Oh, check we out," without. I wanted to let the service speak for itself and do what it does do, and let the healers dictate and say, "Okay, what are we doing? Good, not good? What we need to fix, what we need to do, and stuff like that." So it's been good. It's been good. We got a lot of good feedback. A lot of we don't stop. We just released another update this week again to address some of the shortcomings and some of the feedback that healers would come back and say they wish they had, and some nice to haves in the apps and whatnot. So yeah, it's something that's just constantly growing, and we constantly rolling, constantly reinvesting, reinvesting in the community, reinvesting in the drivers, reinvesting in the healers, and so on. So it's good.
All right, and for anyone who tuning in and may not be aware of somebody who is somewhere out in the world thinking about coming to St. Croix and might be interested in taking advantage of this, just go to vihail.com. Lots of useful information there, access to the app and everything else, and check it out. And if you find yourself in a pinch, you know, VI Hail is there. If you're not in a pinch, but you just want the comfort of saying, I prefer to be chauffeured this time around, VI Hail is there. And as Jared could tell you, reliable, you can count on them in that context. Definitely something that we would definitely endorse from that perspective. And I'm speaking as host, not WSTX, but I'm sure if WSTX called itself in a pinch, it could call VI Hail too.
Yeah. Anybody, so we use 365, we use 24/7, 365. So we don't shut down. We don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock at night. In fact, we have done many years, 2, 3 o'clock at night. Somebody was just reminding me we had a good laugh with one of my dispatchers, and my manager was laughing about when them Navy man was coming here, the Navy people and stuff, and they get into the cruiser room a little too heavy, So sometimes we scoop them off the side of the road and like, okay, let me take you back to the boat, brother, scoop them out of the ditch. Sometimes they get off the boat and they drink so much they don't even know what Airbnb is. They don't know nothing. And we make sure that they're all right. So it's not just about for us, it's about the service. It's not about the ride. It's more about the service. It's about customer service, making sure everybody is safe, making sure everybody gets from point A to point B and whatnot. So it's been good. One things I wanted to talk about though, coming here this morning, I know I mentioned we're in full swing with the elections and stuff. And as everybody know, we've been pushing for right here now in the Virgin Islands since this start for 3-4 years now. We've been pushing for this right here stuff, and I wanted to give everybody a little update. I know I've taken a lot of blows. I've come on this radio station and talk about my blows that I have taken from the public, from just about any and everybody, when it comes to the legality of right here in the Virgin Islands. We have met with the St. Croix. I can only speak for St. Croix. I can't really speak for St. Thomas because we're only operating in St. Croix right now, more or less as they just call it a pilot program, if you want to call it that. I've spoken to our local senators, the legislation, and just for reference, I know the senators they just take their blows for certain things, and a lot of people I was calling their name up if something go wrong and all of this stuff, and a lot of people talking about they corrupt and all this crazy stuff. But I'll say one thing for sure. I met with them. They was very courteous. They give me the audience to explain and show what we was doing. And for the record, not a single one of them reached out their hand and said, show me something. Everybody there was more intrigued with what we was doing. They go out and they saw, I think they went to see trade this past few months ago, and they saw and heard from the tourist industry and other islands that's actually incorporated rideshare. One of them was St. Martin. The Gums in St. Martin started a rideshare service in St. Martin, and it transformed the whole landscape as to transportation and them islands. So they was very interested in that. So I gotta give the current legislation some kudos there for giving me the audience to listen and actually take interest into what's going on and coming up with some stuff. On top of that, I gotta give the senator at large. He actually is the one who's in charge of the bill. There's a draft bill that's making its way through the legislation right now. Senator Bokes, he is the sponsor of the bill. And again, he was kind enough to give me some audience and actually came over and listened and saw the data, and my team and his team. Again, I'm an open book, so we were able to open up our stuff and show him all the data points and what was going on, what we are seeing, what we are feeling, the truths, the untruths of this business, and how this is kind of injecting itself into the community as a whole. And so he has drafted a bill. And there's some, I'm not going to lie, I've seen a copy of it. You can't do nothing in St. Croix. If you're breakaway in Point Udall, somebody in Frederickston know about it 2 seconds after it happened, right? You can't do nothing on these islands and nobody don't know nothing. So, I saw a copy of it, and there's some stuff in there that I don't like, obviously, and there's some stuff in there that makes sense for the community as a whole. So, I hope that they make it wrongs and we get an opportunity to discuss it on the floor sometime soon, and then come up with some kind of comprehensive plan to kind of push these islands forward. That's what this is about.
Well, I'm a researcher, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
So I went around trying to find this bill.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't find the bill on the bill search and everything. And I made a couple calls, found out who was the author of the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to call the office, couldn't get the office. And somebody gave me his cell phone number.
Uh-huh.
So I called him up, So I called Senator Bokes. I told him what I was calling about, whatever. He said, so I explained who I was, because he met me before.
Okay.
We worked on Act 86, which is the Disability Integration Unit, when I was working in the legislature.
Okay, so you know your way around, man.
I hold many hats.
Uh-huh.
I might be blind, but I hold many hats.
Okay.
So he was like, yeah, I remember that bill. Yeah, you remember who I was and stuff like that, and who I worked for. So anyway, make a long story short, he said, well, when he bring the bill to the floor, he wants me to testify on the bill.
Okay.
I said, yes, I could bring the human side to it, because to be honest with you, on St. Croix, we don't have much options.
Right.
And this is an option for me, although I'm a person with a disability, because Vitran is not really too reliable. Because after a certain time of the day, during the day, they don't run.
Okay.
And over the weekend, on a Saturday, the Vitran Plus finishes at 2:00. So if I want to go hang out in Sonia's or hang out on the boardwalk, I better be done by about 12:30, 1:00.
Okay.
To get back home. You know what I mean? So then I have the option of using via Hill. So I could tell them, go home. When I finish driving, I can.
Right, you good?
I good.
Okay.
I get a ride home. So
Yeah, just something to add to that too, Jared. Okay, you talk about reliability. When Vitran shut down, they shut down. They don't have a mechanism by which they can let the public know. Don't go and stand on the side of the road and wait for the bus because there's no bus. It broke down.
Mm.
Okay.
That's
Yeah. It's serious business. It's
Yeah,
about service. And
yeah,
that's really what it comes back. Just like Clyde said, it's about service. You got to
Right.
provide a consistent service. And that service also translates into economic activity.
Correct.
because I used to use the fixed route bus sometimes. And one day I got stuck. Okay, the bus broke down and it just never came. So I ended up having to pay a taxi to go home.
Mm.
And that was like that was a ouch, you know. And I was like, that ain't happening to me again. So since the VI came around back in 2024,
Yeah.
I've been using it from that November to now. I use it all the time.
It's very interesting. You said something is an option, and I think a lot of people need to understand that it's just another option. It's not a one size fit all. It's not for everybody. It's just another option. Option meaning, if one thing you follow, you could use this as your backup. If this is your primary, you got something else as your backup. We just need more options. And again, I'm happy you mentioned that. I know some people like to say or think that this thing is something that come over to take over the taxi industry and all this nonsense. And I hear kind of nonsense rumors all the time on these talk shows. And I don't even bother call them because it's a waste of my time.
Yeah, but when I hear them, I set them straight.
I know you does represent and you does advocate for we all the time, and I appreciate that.
Okay,
I
ain't getting paid.
And I appreciate that. Trust and believe. I just hear all about it. I think they even got a song. Somebody sing some kind of song. Somebody send me some kind of song. Somebody sing out there. But we and they mention we and the senators. I went to a meeting a few months ago about transportation. I believe it was Senator Gittins hosted it and invited the public, and they was upset that I went. I said, well, I'm in the transportation business and the senators work for all a week. This is a public event. He invite the whole anybody who had stake in this business to come and listen. And they was talking about the transportation pitfalls and the holes we have here as a community as a whole. So, but again, just to set some of these records straight, this ain't nothing against no taxi man. I ain't got a thing against a taxi man. In fact, I know some of them, and we even got a couple of them that they're on our platform who does advocate for us and who does sometimes fill in and whatnot, and we just ping pong back and forth. So, I mean, we could coexist. It's not a taxi man ain't going skinny because we ain't eating or ain't paying his whopper bill or none of that. I guarantee. Their customers is not our customers. Their customer levels, they just do something that we cannot do. When them cruise ship pull up, they could have 15 people to a spot in one sitting. We can't do that. For us to have them 15 people, that will take 5, 7, 8 drivers off the road to have 15 people to the same spot. So in a case like that, they are more economic and more efficient in stuff like that. Running the route, the center line route, again, they are more equipped to do that kind of stuff. We as right here, we is from doorstep to doorstep at your time.
Exactly.
When you feel like you're ready to go, we're gonna come get you. And wherever you're going, we're gonna drop you. And if you gotta go back, we'll come get you whenever you're ready, and we'll drop you back from step to step. And at any time, any moment, anyhow, any way, it doesn't matter to us. So that's right here. That's the technology is driving that behind the scenes. So I just wanted to make that very, very clear. This ain't a dig against them, man. I don't have any animosity towards them at all. I'm just putting that out there. But yeah, back to talking about Senator Bolkes and his bill.
Yeah, one of the things I saw in the bill that I myself don't agree with.
Yeah, talk to me.
Is this 30 hours of history?
Oh, the classes? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something that don't make no sense for we.
You guys,
We're not tourists. We're not tour guides.
you guys are not tour guides.
No,
All you guys need, all your drivers need to know is where is the best place happening,
correct.
especially in the night, what's the best restaurant to go to, you know, that kind, what's the best hotel, stuff like that. Y'all don't need to know about all the different history and things like that.
No.
All I need to know is a good geographical landscape of the island to know where I'm going.
The thing is with that is that again, our customers is not the taxi man, them customers. Our customers know when they check we out and they jump on our app, them man don't do their research. Them man don't know where they're going to drink their beer and wine, and they know where they're going to lime.
Yeah.
They know what they want to check out. So they know for a fact where part they coming and where they're going. Now, every now and then we might get something that say who got the best rum drink or who got the best, pate or something. They might hear some words or whatever. But again, all our drivers is local people. Local people that born here, live here, there for decades.
Yeah.
They know St. Croix like the back of their hand, most of these folks. And they know where the line there, they know what they're going around. Again, you can't do nothing on this island. You can't got no secret. You got a jam, the jam gonna spread. Anything happening on this island, it gonna spread. So they finger hours on the pulse as to what's going on. Because not only they're taking tourists, they're taking local people as well. And everybody, the minute you go, and for some reason, let me tell you, I just go on the road as an undercover, if you want to call it undercover boss every now and then, just to check things out. And every time somebody jump in the car is a conversation. Whether you're a local or a tourist is a conversation. So you got a local man jump in your car and he telling you about where the line there, where the next line what the happenings is happening. All of that, and I mean these drivers, they know more about what's going on with if you want to call it melee in these islands than anybody on island, because we always interacting with local people. We have some local healers who have used our service 500-600 times in 2 years. When I look across the landscape as healers to see something sparked my interest the other day, so I run some reports, and it was 500-700 healers who have used us 20-30 times plus. And these people, we become part of their life. I've had some local healers who said they ain't buy no car because they want no high car payment. They don't want no high insurance. They want to deal with road and wheel bearing and tires and flats and all kind of nonsense. And they look at their numbers and they say, VI here is more economical for me to take this. It works. It gets me to my job back and forth. I do all my errands. Cool. And when I look at how much money I spend a month to what I was spent to keep a car, maintain a car and all of that, they rather take VI here. We have families who just use us to go from spot to spot to spot. They just do custom stops. We pick them up. I think they live down west somewhere. One walk airport, one walk out on East End, one walk all the way on the North Shore. And we just pick them up, drop them off, and then go back around when they're ready to go home. I mean, there's so many stories I could bring. There's so much data I could show people, and so many from the healer standpoint, from the driver standpoint. I mean, even yourself, Gerard, you said.
What I like about the service, I can, if I go to do my shopping, I can do a bulk shopping and carry it on Vitron. I can do 1 or 2 bags and then go on the Vitron bus. I could do a full shopping, get all my water and all that stuff. And then when I finish, have my card, pack up there, and I book a trip.
Don't forget the dog food.
No, either order that. It's cheaper. They come to my door.
So wait, you just do your shopping and then the man just come and pick you up?
Yeah.
They haul your stuff for you, or
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, all right, that's good. That's good to do.
One lady, I was like, I tell her how my came and I unpack it. She said, no, I got it. I said, but I could do it. She said, no, I got it.
I give you a hand. Okay.
I said, all right, well, I say in my head, well, I gotta tip this one.
Yeah, they work hard, they don't work for their tips, they know the game. And like I said, we does for us again. I tell them all my drivers. So I got 3 rules: customer service is 1, customer service is 2, and customer service is 3. That's my 3 rules. The ride is easy. The ride done book. The ride done set. You know what part you picking up. You know what part you going based on the app. The rest of it got to be customer service. So we just invest in our drivers heavily. When I say invest, I ain't trainings. We got all kind of stuff with our equipment, whatever they need. We are always reinvesting in them. We just listen to them, and again, we pay them very well, and we keep the. It's almost like a small little family, if you want to call it. We keep our little family tight, and make sure everybody is doing what they gotta do, and everybody on the same boat. Everybody got the same mission to make sure the healer get from point A to point B comfortable, relax.
And what I like about the service, there's no money change hands.
No,
everything stays in the app, you know. And then I think you guys have a thing that they can see the people in the back, right?
Yep, we got the cameras in the cars. Yeah. We recording. Again, no money. We a cashless operation. Every now and then, we hit some snags because, as we all know, the infrastructure here, we just take a hit. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I use apps, so how the infrastructure here does it?" Well, when WAPA go out, I mean, one hijack the meeting talking about WAPA. We all know. We don't know that's the biggest cost word and
shared pain.
Well, it is a 4-letter word.
Yeah, so we when them man go out, I mean, we just feel it because the cell phone services feel it. We just work off of cell phone data. Not having good GPS. I gotta call the partner for the street addressing initiative and see what part he done that, because my understanding you're supposed to get that done for St. Croix from the first of the year. Now we're there almost in July and mean see
it was supposed to be done already.
Yeah, so
what he told me.
Yeah, so I gotta call you and ask you, give me a status on that, because again, we mapping this island constantly. I just had a lady who got a place out in the bush, and the map man never went up there, asked no question, and she checked me on Facebook, and I was talking to her, and I was trying to figure out where the heck is your villa or your Airbnb. She said when people come off the plane, they don't know where it is and they don't map right. And then I said, all right, after we figure it out, so now we have to map that and put stuff on our back end to make sure that we understand when somebody say they're going for this Villa X here, and okay, that actually means these coordinates. So every time somebody put a like or a pin on our map, we just track it and put some kind of friendly name next to it to try and understand, okay, if Gerard say he going home, so when Gerard log on his app and he said, man, take me home, okay, we understand what Gerard home means. It means, he done here at these coordinates, take this route and blah 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 blah. So we remapping this island constantly with all kind of people use all kind of spelling and all kind of different names and words and stuff for certain spots. So I mean, the street addressing initiative will put all of that to an end. It will definitely transform this place.
I was looking for his number in my phone.
I got email from here. I know the one dude that working with here, and I see every now and then that his son and my son just play soccer together. So when I bump into here again, I gonna ask.
I gotta look on the stuff I scanned into my phone again. Because I have my address, my new address,
right,
but it's not implemented yet.
No, it don't resolve.
No.
So again, these are infrastructure things. Like I was trying and tell people, there's get vexed with us when certain things happen, when the map don't really resolve. And I was trying to explain to them, like, okay, we are working with the best we could possibly do with the information we have. It'll get better and better as time goes on. I've seen it got significantly better from day one to where we are today, almost 2 years later. But again, there's no infrastructure there in place that we could leverage and say, hey, this is working stateside. This is nobody to think about this. Everything resolvable. All the streets, all the addresses, everything. So again, infrastructure is huge. Infrastructure is foundation, and if your foundation is right, you can't build nothing decent. And right now, our foundation is very, very wobbly, but we propping up and we sticking up and we taping up and doing what we gotta do to kind of keep this house from crumbling. So hopefully the gate figure out soon. So
running on duct tape and chewing gum.
yeah, duct tape, chewing gum, baling wire, you name it, fishing line, whatever we gotta do, we just do. And wherever we invest, we invest. And trust me, we burning a lot of resources just picking up the slack of where this thing is. We got some technology out there we are testing right now, satellite base, all kind of stuff. I always looking for innovation and different ways to get our stuff out there. And it's all because I'm looking for workarounds for the holes in our infrastructure here on this island. So
Okay, we just want to remind people we're talking with and about VI Hill. All right, we got Clyde Daisley here with us. And if you want to know more, okay, what's the website connection?
VIHail.com, VIHAIL.com. That's the easiest, best way to get information. You could get the app right there. Whether you're on Android or iPhone, it doesn't matter. Just VIHail.com.
All right.
25% off your first ride to anybody and everybody.
Good thing. Well, you know, the reality is that COVID happened and COVID changed everything about transportation because, of course, proximity to other people was a concern. When you go in a taxi bus, you know, everything that was a COVID problem was inside a taxi bus in that context, just because it brings people in close proximity. So the taxi drivers took a serious hit during that time. Everybody took a hit in terms of business in general, but taxi drivers took a hit and everything else in that context, and things changed. In the process, I personally have observed that a lot of the legacy taxi drivers that I used to see on the road have passed on, and the reality is that the reliability of to say you just walk out to the road and wait for a taxi and flag them down and jump on and go, that does not exist anymore. Okay, I've had people who had to get to my radio station and they come out, have to call me and say, I ain't gonna make it because I ain't seeing nobody on the road. Well, it may be picking back up, but the key thing people need to understand from my perspective that options is your word. If your taxi is available, fine. If not, you got the VI here. Now, with regards to the legislation, I understand that when it comes to tours, that we need to make sure that the people who are conducting these tours actually know Virgin Islands history. Okay?
Yeah, correct.
And I say that I have seen some situations where I like bite my lip and I say nothing because I'm not trying to interfere with somebody's customer relation and start no problems for them. But I've seen situations where people out there don't know VI history and talking stupidness, or just plain being ignorant and not meeting the needs and desires of the people who ultimately they would want to be their customers. But that's for tours.
Correct.
That's not for just day-to-day transportation.
Okay, we have a call online too.
Okay, let me run with it.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, gentlemen, I was to call into. You said this gentleman name is Clyde?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, I mean, he is well spoken. He seems to be very enthused and interested in the service industry. And I think he ought to be congratulated for it. Because, service industry, it could be hard. I mean, you meet some people that no matter how much good service you give them, they're not pleased. So I could only wish him and his crew. I suspect he seems to be head of a fleet of vehicles or something. Am I correct?
No, so we don't own any of the vehicles. All the vehicles is privately owned. So everybody, all of our drivers is private, independent contractor drivers, and they all sign up.
Okay.
They all sign up for the app, and but then they all, they all understand. So let me explain it to you. So we got about, at any given time, we got 300-400 people out there that want to drive for us. If you look at the actual
Wow.
number of drivers that we have, we are very selective because of we looking for a certain vibe, a certain person. It's not enough just to pass the background check. And trust, we just check your background in ways that it has even astonished me. When I run that background check on myself, I see a ticket I get from way back in 1998 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for speeding. So I mean, these are kind of thing we're looking for. So we're looking for a personality. And that personality has to fit with other personalities here on who's part of our crew. So we're very selective. And again, the tree, and my tree, and like I said, my tree rules that everybody will tell you, every driver will tell you is customer service, customer service, customer service. And on top of that, is we pay them well. They just make good, they make a good, fair money. We're very transparent in how we just pay and how we do things, and then we just reinvest in them as people. For instance, we had I had Dr. Phillip came out and she's running some classes on investments and how to money manage and stuff. I have some drivers who didn't even understand how checkbook does work. We had a flock out there talking about insurance and how to make sure they keep the insurance and stuff going and make sure they have some backings. I even had some safety officer, Officer Lewis out there talking to them about safety. So we are always reinvesting in them. We do trainings.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. So let me just close by saying that, it seems as if you all go even as far as to the architects and mapping routes and stuff that people can't find addresses. It's all good, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the call. Thank you. So yeah, like the caller was saying, so it's like I was telling the caller, we there's invest in the drivers. My philosophy is you treat people well, you pay them well, and you don't treat them like a commodity. You treat them like somebody that you want as part of your team. You treat them like a true team player, and then you could do stuff. The minute you start mistreating them and treat them as a commodity, then that's where problems will start. I always put them first. I put my whole team first before myself. And whatever that means, that's what it means. But this is how we have been very more or less successful up to this date, and we keep growing every day. Every day I see new healers jumping on the platform. I see new healers taking the rides. I see us buzzing. In fact, sometimes I even just hear out in the public, when I'm out in public, just standing in line or whatever. The other day I hear somebody talking to somebody on the phone. I think I was in McDonald's or something, getting with my son, and somebody said, "What? You got something? Man, just send a hail for me, my son." And I was just like, "What?" I said, "Listen to that. People using us as send a hail for you. Like, okay, is a synonymous for right share." I was like, okay, that's the kind of stuff that I like to hear out in general public. I always look to the general public to give me that's my litmus test as to whether we're doing good or whether we ain't doing good. Just what the general public feeling and saying. So, all right, I appreciate that.
I see now that you updated the app. When you hit on the app, it just opens up instead of having to put in your phone number now.
Yes, we did some updates. Like I said, we pushed that update. The last for iOS was starting to push this week. We did a lot of work around efficiency of the routes that we are taking for the drivers. So the drivers ain't driving all over the place. So we're routing people more efficiently, to save gas,
right.
To save vehicle wear and tear and whatnot. We actually had to implement something, a little bit of a fuel surcharge.
Yeah,
I
that too.
I took the blows as much as I could, but then I had to add a fuel surcharge. So the fuel surcharge, I'm not talking $5. I think it's like 70 cents or something. That goes directly to the driver. We don't take a cut out of that whatsoever. Just to help the drivers, recoup some of their fuel charges and whatnot. It's a little smoother. Stuff is working. We're going to re-enable the scheduling rides. We did a lot of work around scheduling rides to make sure, again, part of the whole efficiency. We're going to implement, well, it's already implemented, it's just not on, the sharing of rides. So let's say if you got two people, if you got a bunch of two people from Frederickstead to, let's say you're going Sunny Isles, and you got a big car, and then another two people say, wait, I go in the same direction. If both of y'all agree that you okay with sharing the hill, then you got a discount, a significant discount, since now we're taking two sets of two people going together to the same destination or in the same direction. We're also looking at EV, the electric vehicles. We have a few drivers who have some EV cars, so we're looking to see what that looks like and how we could implement that. And then also the last thing is the last category that we're looking at is a compact. So if it's just like a one person, like maybe you, Gerard, if you're just a single dude and you just want to go from A to B, you don't really need an XL. You don't really need a XXL unless you want that. If you want to stretch out and relax and cool out and gain the bigger cars, we got some drivers out there with some nice cars. But if you just want, a little compact car to go from A to B real quick, we're looking into some of that. So we got a lot of things on the plate. We got a lot of things coming that we're working on. It's there. It's just most of it is just not turned on yet. We're still trying to finalize some of the rules and some of our procedures on the back end before we turn some of that stuff on. But yeah, it's never ending.
The only thing I would say is there's one or two vehicles that you got hell to get up in there.
Okay.
I think they're Jeeps. They got one lady, she got a Jeep with a lift on there. And you got like really climb up in there.
I see.
I would recommend that they get like a stool or something that you can step on and they get up in there. Make it a little easier for somebody. I mean, I still a little young and limbo, so I could get up in there. But I'm just thinking about somebody else who might not be.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So maybe just some kind of accessibility information, like if you need a low ride car, if you need something, if you're impaired in any way and you need a car that you could access, maybe you got a cane or whatever, you might need a lower ride vehicle, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely take that. And this is the kind of stuff I like to hear. And that's okay. Definitely, I'll put that on my checkout and to-do list and run that with my dev team and see what's going on.
I saw it came for me a couple of times, and I was like, I mean, I got up in there, but then I started to think about somebody else who might have like a little bit of mobility issue that might not be able to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, they need to either have like a little step, be able to put a little step so that they could step up and get in, or like you say, have it where they know that this is a person that have mobility issues,
right?
So they send a lower vehicle for them.
Something that works for some people. Okay, all right, I'll definitely take that. Yeah, I'll take that to our team and see. Yeah. I say our team is part of the team, but we'll definitely discuss that.
It just popped into my head. Because I remember, I think about a week or two back, I got into the Jeep. It's really high, and I was like, well, I mean, you gotta grab and pull the
grab bar. Okay,
yeah.
All right, that's good feedback, man. Okay, I appreciate that.
Like I said, I'm still a little young and limbo, But the person that might not be able to do that,
Right,
they got a problem.
right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, I definitely take that into consideration and see what we could do there. And whether we put vehicle that's mobility friendly in certain classes and then, or when certain folks come, maybe even I'll run that by and come up with some stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. So
Yeah. But overall, like I say, I depend on the service. You know, I use it frequently. You know, at least once or twice a week, sometimes more, depending on the day or the weekend, if it's a holiday, stuff like that. You know, 'cause
nice.
a lot of times I'm at work. Sometimes I try and forget me at work, and I got to use the system, service to go home because you know.
Yeah. And something you hit on, you talk about the point system. The point system is always there for the healers. You get so much points for every heal that you take, and then your points is accrue. Just like airline points or a point system anywhere else. There's accrue to money that you could put towards free rides and other stuff. So all of that is kind of built right into the app. You don't even have to do anything. It reminds you and says, hey, you got X amount of points. You could use it to book your ride, or if you want to put your money and whatnots in there. With the update too, we did a lot around security. We did even more. Our app is pretty secure as it is. We don't house any financial data on our side whatsoever. We even took that a few steps further to even remove you even further from that. I know a lot of people don't like the offline wallet business, but that is the 100% secure. And if any time you need a refund or whatnot, you could just request it through the chat in the app, or go out to what is called our support site, support.vihail.com. You could get to it by typing support.vihail.com in your web browser, or go to our main page, vihail.com, and click on support. That has all the bells and whistles and the ins and the outs. You can open a ticket there if you have any questions, concerns, trouble. And I have people watching that thing 24/7, nonstop, the chats, everything. So yeah, you're not just blindly using this thing. You got a whole team of people always waiting and ready to help out when needs be.
That's good to know, because my coworker, my counterpart in St. Thomas, he comes over and he uses VIA
Okay.
get around to the various independent living or whatever functions we have going on over here. He'll come over. He comes on the airport, and he books a hail, and he gets to wherever he needs to go. So he was like, "This is a scam. If I don't use the money, I can't get my money back."
No.
So now I'm gonna tell him now exactly what you told me.
Yeah.
If you need to get your money back, you know how to get your money out of your wallet.
Yeah, very easy. Like I said, we're working on a refund feature built into the app, but we were a little bit concerned with the fact that now you have to put in something that we don't want you to put into our app, and that's your personal data. So we keep that to the bare minimum, but any financial data is handled by a third party 100%. We're just a small company here, but the financial partner on the other side, they just do trillions of dollars. I think they're the largest in the world. So they got all the security and all the tech and all the people. They could afford to do all of that better than we could ever do it on our side.
Well, either use the Apple Pay option. So.
Yeah. So even using Apple Pay, you don't pay us directly. You pay the third party, and then they let us know what's going on. So yeah, if you got you want your refund or any other issues or problems, or even if you just want to make a suggestion like you just made about the mobility access, it's right on vihail.com, or you could go directly to support.vihail.com. Again, all of the how-tos and the manuals and and the policies and procedures. Everything is listed there. And if you need any help, you can just open up a ticket. I have a whole team of people that's constantly looking at this. They know I'm a firm believer in keeping what we call in our industry SLA, service level agreements. And my service level agreements is that we answer these tickets within X amount of time. We resolve them within X amount of time. We escalate as we see fit, and it's measured. And this is how we measure our effectiveness in using that support platform. So there's a lot of between, not to get super technical, but again, it's what we do to measure the customer service side of the fence. Because again, some people might have trouble with the app, they might have something with the phone. Sometimes it's not even our problem. Sometimes it's the other day Liberty was having some trouble, and there was causing issues. Again, we're basing everything that we do is based on a foundation and an infrastructure that, again, we always have to prop up and keep rolling as good as the best as we can from our standpoint. We can't go out there and put no cell phone tower, but we could try to prop up and make things happen. So yeah, that's good to know. So yeah, tell your partner, scam. If he need his money back, we don't want to keep nobody money from them.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, and the refund process is very easy, straightforward, and yeah, it works. But the current situation, with the wall as a whole, and every day we wake up to these data breaches, and your credit card get used here and there, and your data was sold. We don't want to be part of none of that. So that's why we partner with this third party firm, and we have a really strong relationship with them. We're constantly audited by them, and we're auditing them as well. So again, everybody is on the up and up. Everybody is responsible, and we make sure we keep things moving in the right direction, as safe and as positive as possible. So this ain't no I know, like I said, when I started, it was we in the height of election season, and I know we're watching all these budgetary meetings and people showing up without numbers and stuff. That's not us. Nobody is showing up to our audit meetings without no numbers or none of that nonsense. Everybody coming correct, and if we see a 2 on one paper, we better see a 2 on the other paper. We see $2 on one side and we see $1.99 on the other side. We chasing that penny, because in the penny, we want to understand why the discrepancy, right? Yeah. So again, we are very stringent when it comes to that kind of stuff, and we stand up with that.
Right. Like I will keep up with Senator Bogus.
Yes.
Because I asked him, I said, why is the bill still illegal? He said, I don't know. I said, well, you need to find out why it's in there, why it's still in there, and you need to do whatever you need to do to get it out of there and bring it to the floor.
Yeah, man, we need to get to the floor, and I hope that one last thing I want to say, I know my time run out here pretty soon. I hope when it does get to the floor that we pack the house. I want as many drivers, whether past, present, future drivers in there to discuss, because this affects all of us. Again, I know I only talking for St. Croix because this project, if you want to call it that, or pilot program, is only happening in St. Croix. So we can only talk about St. Croix because that's the only data points I have is for St. Croix. But I want to hear from, like you, Gerard. I want you to stand up and say, okay, this is your experience. Good, bad, or indifferent. If you use a taxi man and you feel like you eating because of we, I want to hear about it. I want to hear why you eating because of we. I don't think that's happening. I don't see any data to support that is happening. But if it is happening, then yeah, let me know. Give me a call. Let's figure this out and let's talk. Me shy about, again, whether it's good, bad, or indifference, I'm not shy about the bad or the indifference. I don't just want to hear all good. I want to hear the bad, because I can only make it better by hearing the bad, by fixing the bad. and then they turn the bad into a good. So
Most of all, if the taxi man ain't eating, it's because he ain't working.
well, that's what that's what I would think. But
Because I can tell you, there was a time I went by, I was in Sonny House, I was waiting on the Vitran to pick me up to take me to Christian State.
mhm,
And they were taking so long, I said, man, to hell with this. So I went on the corner by Champs, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. I think, but wait, I remember when bus used to pass like every 10 minutes.
mhm,
It took almost an hour before one taxi bus passed then.
mhm.
Okay? And I was like, what? No bus was going in neither direction.
Mm.
Okay? And I said to myself, I said, well, my peace. I said, look how St. Croix come.
Yeah, yeah. I again, when me growing up as a young man, like my son now, he's 15. Anytime he want to go movie, is daddy, mommy take me movie, daddy, mommy take me movie. He got a little, think he got a little girlfriend now. They just finally tell me he got a little girlfriend out there. And he friend them. They're young. There's 15, 16-year-old kids. They want to go movie and cool out and play video games and stuff like that. But I remember back in the day, in the 80s when I grew up, living and growing up in Hannah's Rest, you walk up to the shanty there in Hannah's Rest there and the corner, and within 2-3 minutes you catch a bus, you go movie theater, you line with your friend, you walk over to Wendy's, your parents tell you better be home by 12 o'clock. Come 11:50, you flagging any and taxi man no, and then line up.
Yeah,
and listen, when that taxi man, you tell a man that listen, you got let me roll, brother, because me want to catch no licks tonight. And when that man drop you off at the shanty and you running home and you like wow, and but you had a good time. You was able to go out, you're able to hang with your friends while you running down the road with your friend. Them are laughing about the time you had and you're talking about the experience and you trying to make it home before you catch a belt. But them days done. You start up on that corner, like you said, you go out there at 10 o'clock on the corner there after a movie or lining with your friend them or going out to eat a little burger or whatever, and you see nothing. So how is that possible? How we get there? Like, why is that? I hear people blame all kind of stuff. I hear is taxi commission, taxi association. I don't know the difference between commission and association, but I know that one of them taking some tax money and me seeing no results from the tax money.
I know the legacy, most of the legacy drivers that they had in the past, they passed away. Legacy taxi man.
But why nobody step up to fill the gap? Again, there's a gap there that we are trying to fill, and I encourage others to try to fill because it affects everybody. Can you imagine?
Because I was doing some research on that the other day too, and they were like, what I found out with getting the taxi medallion, you gotta be some kind of veteran or some kind of thing like that. It's kind of ignorance, and I'm like,
well, if it's a process problem and the process broken, then they need to fix the process.
I think they need to give who want to be a damn taxi man the medallion. I heard a taxi man say one day on the radio, it is not their thing to provide public transportation. It is for the government to provide public transportation.
Okay.
So after he said this, I said to myself, so what you harassing BIA for?
Okay then.
Okay.
But if it's so again with the taxi whatever association or whatever they call themselves, I have seen that they ask for another $400,000. I know that it's take about a little over $1 million a year from taxpayer money. So they are, again, this is my problem, right? A lot of people I want to jump on this bandwagon too hard and too fierce, but my whole thing in life is that if I'm paying for something, I gotta get something back from it. It is a return on that investment. VI Hill won't exist if all of this stuff we talking about was working. We won't be here at all. If the right problem wasn't a problem here on this island, we won't have the success that we have had up to date and the continued success moving forward. I mean, that's just a given. We will be the ones not eating. You see what I'm saying? There will be no room for it. So I don't, again, I don't understand the pushback against the whole right share thing and the whole, taxi versus we and this and that and all this stuff. Because again, I have the receipts to show that we're doing the stuff that they don't want to do and that they don't be around to do.
Right.
And that's 90% of our rights.
You know what it is? You don't like change. Okay? They see this as a change. Okay? I see it as coming up with the times because if I'm in New York, if I'm in New Jersey, Florida, I got my Lyft, yep, I got my Uber, I got Dugget.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I was hearing something there. I got, Uber, Lyft, and all that stuff, and it's just a part of life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every country, guys, every single country. I haven't been to a country that don't have some form of right share.
But my thing is, they like to bring every other thing else here and try to implement it, right? Things that I would say not really good for us. But something that I see is good for us, they want to make it a problem. Okay? And like I said in the beginning when we started, I bring in the human aspect of it because in my position, I have no option. I gotta use it.
Right.
You understand? I have to use whatever transportation I got at my fingertips. Okay? So, because the public transportation they provide is not up to par because it stops running at a certain time. Even the fixed route bus stops running at a certain time.
Right.
So I remember when Vitron used to run till 11 o'clock from Sunday to Thursday. And on Friday and Saturday, run till 1 o'clock. That don't happen anymore.
Well, Gerard,
Uh-huh.
Gerard, when it start back up with Jazz in the Park, okay?
Uh-huh.
I gonna call VI Hill to take you home, so I don't have to worry about no house running into me when I trying to get back home.
All you got to do is give me the key.
No, you ain't getting the keys. You're not getting the keys.
I tell him, let me drive the Jeep, go home. He said, no. Right? He drive me home himself. We walk up the road. He went, he see a house and he run into the house.
What? You run into the house. You run into the house.
Gerard. How you can say I see the house and you can't see? You weren't even there.
I wanna miss the house.
So Doug, so now you gotta take VI Hill too. We got your Jeep.
You know, my son. Let me tell you something.
Don't forget first ride. 25% off, and you got your points.
All right.
And we hit the house. If we hit the house, that's a problem. That's a big problem. I believe we go last no house.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
It's really been great in this conversation. But the bottom line is the people of St. Croix and the people of the Virgin Islands need to get behind this because it's something that gives us options, and it's nothing personal. The taxi drivers can be taxi drivers. The taxi drivers can even participate in rideshare if they want to. They can even create their own system if they so choose. The bottom line is that, hey, when you need to get from point A to point E, you don't want to hear no excuses. You just want to get there.
Yep.
Whether it's taxi or or VI Hail or Vitran, you want something that's reliable. And by having options, you're making sure that economic activity on St. Croix can always be at its optimum state of flow. It just makes sense.
Correct.
Correct.
And I know we run out of time, but I just want to remind everybody. So again, vihail.com is where you could go to get all the information you need to get. And there's a bill out there sponsored by Senator Bolkes. Whether you like it, hate it, or indifferent, please give him a call and voice your opinion. If you got an opinion about our service, whether again good or bad or indifferent, give me a call, shoot me a message, go on our support line. Even though I got a team doing the support on the back end, I just read all them comments. I might not reply to all of them, but I just read all of them and go through all of them and organize them in my own way to sift them out. So again, vihail.com is where you could go to get all the information you want to get. You could use our support for any kind of support issues, whether it's refund, whether you got a suggestion, whether maybe you had a bad experience, whatever. Use our support line, please. And then please give Senator Bolkes, I gotta give you a little kudos for, this bill thing has been back and forth now for almost about 8 years now. And now we heading into the 9th year, and he actually put together a draft and putting it out there. So whether you like it, hate it, love him, hate him, whatever, but if you want to voice your opinion, give Senator Bolkes' office a call, shoot you an email, and let him know. And keep tabs up, because when this thing hit the floor, I really want to have a really good, solid discussion around it.
Good thing, good thing. Well, thanks for coming in, and don't hesitate. If you have any interesting statistics that we can throw out there to people, how it's going in terms of the rideshare performance, definitely. It's a little thing of curiosity. We'll drop it in there in our community calendar information, let people know that it's there. And folks, I could see if there was something out there competing that was also rideshare. So we ain't showing no favoritism. It's the only one. If somebody else wanted to go into it, then we would have to give them equal time in terms of just being fair. But it ain't even about that. It's not even about that. This is about having a
Listen, I'll give you a little stats. We's 45,000 completed here strong and moving, and we still don't. We're not able to handle all of it. So that's to tell you. And
exactly.
So,
It's something that just makes sense.
Okay,
there's a need, and we need to meet the need. All right. Is the boss in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't see you slip by there. All right. Good thing. All right. Have a great day, Clyde.
Right. So until next time,
folks, do your random act of kindness.
Until next time, next week, same time, same place. This is Doug and Gerard saying peace out.